Welcome back to the channel. Today we got the Great Train Robbery of 1963, a detailed account. And this is from the channel, The Discussion Salon, Discussions, Crime, and History. Original link will be in the description. Definitely give them a subscribe. With that being said, we're smoking all my dragons, divine, righteous, almighty, greats, overachieving, never slacking. And we flying back over to England for some real history. With that being said, here we go.
The Great Train Robbery, one of the most audacious crimes in British history, occurred in the early hours of August 8, 1963. It involved the theft of £2.6 million, equivalent to approximately £50 million today, from the Glasgow-London Royal Mail train. This meticulously planned operation and its aftermath have captivated public attention for decades, immortalizing the key figures involved and the police efforts to bring them to justice. The robbery took place near Bridego Bridge, later renamed Mentmore Bridge, in Buckinghamshire. Bruce Reynolds, a known burglar and armed robber, was the mastermind behind the operation. He assembled a gang of 15 men, including Buster Edwards, Ronnie Biggs, Charlie Wilson, Roy James, and others, each chosen for their specific skills. The gang's plan relied heavily on inside.
Hold on, when you get a squad of 15 people who is all, skillful in their own way, I mean, you just that's some mastermind stuff right there. It's kind of giving me vibes of like them Cowboys back in the day. What was his name? Jesse James. But them Cowboys. That's what it's giving me vibes of.
Information. A postal worker known only as the Ulsterman provided details about the train schedule and its cargo of high-value packets. These packets contained cash being transported between banks. Using this information, the gang identified the best location to stop the train and unload its valuable cargo. In the early hours of August 8th, the gang tampered with the railway signals, switching a green light to red using batteries. When the train stopped, the fireman, David Whitby, disembarked to investigate. He found the telephone lines cut and was quickly overpowered by the gang. The train driver, Jack Mills, was struck on the head with an iron bar, sustaining injuries that would plague him for the rest of his life. The gang uncoupled the train engine and the first two carriages, which contained the high-value packet coach. They forced Jack Mills to drive the train to a pre-arranged location near Leatherslade Farm, their hideout. There, they unloaded 120 mail bags containing £2.6 million. The entire operation was executed with military precision, taking just 30 minutes. After the robbery, the gang retreated to Leatherslade Farm, a remote property they had purchased under false names. There, they divided the loot and tried to cover their tracks. However, they made several critical mistakes. The robbers played Monopoly using real money, leaving fingerprints on the board. They also left behind half-eaten meals and other evidence when they hastily abandoned the farm. A local farm worker, John Maris, became suspicious of the activity at Leatherslade Farm and alerted the police. Investigators found a treasure trove of evidence, including mail bags, banknote wrappings, and fingerprints. This breakthrough led to the identification and eventual capture of many gang members.
Jeez.
Ronnie Biggs played a minor role in the robbery. He was brought in to help secure a train driver who could replace Jack Mills if necessary. However, the substitute driver failed to operate the train, forcing Mills to comply under duress. Biggs's share of the loot amounted to approximately £150,000. However, his involvement in the crime soon caught up with him. Arrested and sentenced to 30 years in prison, Biggs managed a daring escape in 1965. Scaling the wall of Wandsworth Prison with a rope ladder, he fled to Paris, where he underwent plastic surgery to alter his appearance. From there, he
Yeah, this guy's not playing no games. When you go that far, like he escaped prison and then got plastic surgery. That's somebody who don't want to be caught. That's somebody who ain't trying to go back to prison at all.
traveled to Australia and eventually to Brazil. In Brazil, Biggs exploited the lack of an extradition treaty with the UK. He lived openly, even profiting from his infamy by selling his story and memorabilia. Biggs fathered a son, Michael, with a Brazilian woman, which further secured his protection from extradition. In 2001, suffering from ill health, Biggs voluntarily returned to the UK, where he was rearrested and served several more years in prison before being released on compassionate grounds in 2009. He passed away in 2013. Buster Edwards was another key member of the gang. Known for his charm and resourcefulness, Edwards played a significant role in planning and executing the robbery. After the crime, he fled to Mexico with his wife and daughter. However, the money quickly ran out due to their lavish lifestyle and the challenges of living abroad. Edwards eventually negotiated his return to the UK, surrendering to authorities in exchange for a reduced sentence. He served 9 years in prison and, upon his release, opened a flower stall near Waterloo Station in London. The stall became a local landmark, and Edwards was known for his genial nature and willingness to recount stories of his criminal past. Edwards' life was dramatized in the 1988 film Buster, starring Phil Collins. Despite his criminal history, he became a beloved figure in popular culture. Edwards died in 1994, reportedly by suicide. The trial of the Great Train Robbers began in 1964 at Aylesbury Crown Court. It was one of the longest and most expensive trials in British history. The prosecution presented overwhelming evidence, including fingerprints, eyewitness testimony, and items recovered from Leatherslade Farm. Sentences ranged from 20 to 30 years for most of the gang. Some, like Roy James and Charlie Wilson, attempted daring escapes but were eventually recaptured. Others, like the Ulstermen and 3 unnamed gang members, were never caught.
Never caught.
Of the £2.6 million stolen, less than £400,000 was recovered. Much of the money was laundered through bookmakers or spent by the robbers and their associates. The crime had a profound impact on British society, leading to increased security measures for mail trains and sparking widespread fascination with the audacity of the heist. The Great Train Robbery remains a landmark event in criminal history. It has inspired numerous books, films, and documentaries, ensuring that the exploits of Ronnie Biggs, Buster Edwards, and their comrades will not be forgotten.
Well, that's definitely one way to go down in history. Like I said, it remind me of the wild cowboys from the Wild Wild West that was doing them train robberies. I mean, it's just crazy to have like a squad of 15 guys who, I'm just, from what I just watched, I'm assuming we're all like professional and chosen for a reason. And then it's always like a small mistake that can just one little mistake, playing Monopoly with the money and or leaving food around, like one little mistake. I mean, I was just listening to a guy talking. He was talking about how uh, he was being in question because his DNA was on the scene because of some water he was drinking or something. Like, you just have to be super super careful in that type of situation. And no, I'm not telling anybody to go commit no crimes. So definitely don't take it that way. But that was very very well put together. Like seriously, I enjoyed that video. Everybody go check out the original channel, please. This is a million view video right here. A lot of effort, and I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to react to more. So with that being said, once again, original link in the description, and I'll be back with more. You know what's crazy? When I do react to videos like this, I always have this feeling like a relative from, say, some of them 15 guys that were involved with this, like one of their relatives is gonna come across this video and see this video where, like, it's a big, small world. That's all I'm gonna say. But with that being said, everybody enjoy your day and much love.